Hey, what's up, guys? This is Team Hard Life Captain Alberto Zertuche, and I'm making my way back into the shop slowly. Y'all saw the other video, and this video is now of me actually spooling that reel I was talking about with that Texas Braid. Since I was not able to splice that portion I needed to be spliced so I can do my knot to start it, with the customer's approval, we're going to go ahead and just tie it on there so we can at least get some braid onto his reel. But this is being a pain. Let me get this on here real quick. Alright, so we got that. And here's that Texas braid, and it sucks because they over spooled it, and every time we lay it on its side, all this line comes off. So let me go ahead and get this back onto here. And that's the only bad thing, because it comes off, it adds a twist, so I got to take all that off to be as fair as possible with the braid. I gotta get all this twist out. Okay. Twist in the line, back onto the reel. One real quick. This is
gotta bite. I got a lot of stress on my mind. It's a nice day to go. Yeah, I gotta learn. I'ma call the whole team.
Let me go ahead and get this. What was I looking for? Oh, that's right. This is the one I have to put this way out here. Okay, got that. All right. And so we tried with the thinnest needle that was available, and it wasn't able to do it. So what we're gonna do is just gonna do a uni knot, so that way it'll hold to the spool, and we'll go ahead and start spooling it and see what we can see. I mean, I can see further down in there that there's some wider sections of braid. Maybe I can insert the needle there, but that's gonna be the drawback, because then you're limited onto when and where you can splice, and that's gonna be up to the customer to decide if they want to go and go with that. They are offering this braid on the market because they want to offer a lower end braid that it gives you the ability to get braid onto your reels without costing so much. So at that standpoint, this is stuff that you're gonna have to be willing to accept when you make the purchase. So at the end of the day, guys, you'll want to weigh out whether it's cost efficient for you to buy cheaper braid up front than it is to buy more expensive braid. So all right, and it kind of, so I'm tying the knot and I'm cinching it down. And let's see if I can get you a little further back. Alright, so it's held to the spool, and just going to get it spooled up. Let's see how it goes. Make sure I'm really tight. Alright guys, so we're 100 yards in. And I'm looking into the spool, trying to see if I can see an area that is loose braid, and I can see it kind of right here. Still a little ways in, but this is still super tight braid. We'll go 200 yards in and check it out again. But it is stacking up like solid braid would on a reel, so didn't expect anything more than that. So let's keep it going. Okay, I felt a little abrasiveness, so I'm going to stop and go back and see what we find here. I think it's just twisting the line, but here's... yeah, right here is a prime example. You can see how really tight it is, and then it's kind of a little bit loose. I'm willing to bet I can get the needle in there and try it. Let's see. Yeah, it's tight right there, loose right there, tight again. Let me go and zoom way in on it right now. Turn on the light. Let there be light. Okay. So right here, you can see where it's really tight, kind of gets loose, then really tight again, then loose, and then tight. So it looks like the machines may be having a little bit of trouble. But see, oh look, like I said, you can get the needle in there. Let's see how far it'll go before it gets stuck. Yep, right there where it gets tight again. Come on. Come on, come on. Yep, that's all it'll go. So if I back up a little bit more, because it starts about right here where it gets to get loose. You can see, just by doing that, it shows you that that braid is actually opening up. So that's the way it should almost be. I like it right here where I was able to insert the first time, but let's see. Okay, I'm in. And that is the farthest I've gone with this braid right there. So if let's see if I can find any more area. One thing I do gotta say is, oh man, that's really tight braid weave right there. You can see how it's almost glued together. See, you can open that up right there, and watch it. It's gonna get real tight. You can barely even push on it. Wait a minute. Yeah, and you know, we're getting a lot of suggestions from people saying, well, you can do this, you know, and that, and you know, a bunch of suggestions on being able to help fix the braid. But I'm sorry, when I buy or sell braid, I need to ensure that my customers don't have to know all these little tricks of the trade to be able to make it work for them. So here we go. We're going to continue on. That was 190 yards in. I stopped there. Let me go to 200 so you know how much you get on your spool. That's 200 yards right there. And yeah, the spool is looking better further down. So let's see. I'm going to go in 300 yards. Alright, we're at 300 yards. Let's see what we can see again. Oh, still pretty tight. Yeah, no, not going to work there. Let's go to 400. Okay. Look at that. I felt a big lump. Okay. Maybe it was twisting the braid. There's going to be a lot of unanswered questions with this braid, guys. I'm sorry, but I'm doing the best I can with it. Okay. Yeah, and you're starting to see twist in the braid too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, there's 5 twists in that area. So it's starting to take on twist too. What is that? Oh, just some debris in the spool. Okay. Alright guys, so we're 400 yards in. You can see how much coloring is coming off. It actually is pretty good. There's not a whole lot of coloring. It's not tacky or anything. Braid's still kind of tight. Not seeing much room. I mean, I see areas where the braid is loose on the spool that I could be able to splice or insert the needle, but as I pull further into it, you can see that it gets tight on both ends. So it looks like the machine may be getting stuck on this one that did this braid, you know. All right, so we're 500 yards in. I don't have any twists in the line anymore. Oh no, I got one right there. But I still don't see an area where I can insert the needle. We're at 600 yards. Oh, that looks like a... Oh no, let me try that. Let me try. Oh, it's opening, let's see. Okay, yeah, about the same distance. See if I can go the opposite way. It's going. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. Oh, I got it. Oh, come on. We gotta go here. Let me back it off some. Okay. Real slow. Okay, and see, and even right there, guys, you can see as I'm squishing up the braid where it's tight, it's loose, it's tight, and it's loose, and it's tight. So that's definitely an indication that the machine where these bobbins were braiding this braid were getting stuck. Look. Oh man, this is definitely the farthest I've ever gone with this braid to get the needle in there. Okay, and there, and you can see the pattern. There, 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 and there. I mean, that's caused by the bobbins as they're going through. I guess maybe one of the gears is worn, or maybe they have the wrong formula of the gears in there, because, you know, that's something that we learned. Now, I'm using a reverse latch needle right here. So this should allow me to take the braid in, and we'll test that theory real quick, see if it is even able to be done. I really don't think so, just because it's, see how tight it is on there? It may not go over, because what ends up happening when you're using a reverse latch needle, you're doubling up the braid right here. See how it's doubled up like that? That's double the thickness of the needle. And if I'm barely getting it over that, I really don't want to break my reverse latch needle. Yeah, by trying to shove it over. I mean, I'm gonna get a little more slack in there. Come on, come on. See, that's extra slack right there. Yeah, I can't even get it over the portion of the braid that is doubled over. Look, right there is where it stops, and I don't want to mess up their braid, so I'm going to go ahead and pull the needle out. The only way to do it right now, since I already got the latch in there, is to come all the way through. Oh no. Yeah. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I might have to reverse it out of there. If I can get the needle out of there. Yeah, that is crazy right there. Yep, it looks like one of the threads got caught as I was trying to pull the needle through. And it's just bad because, I mean, if I can't even pull the needle through with the braid, that means I can't even splice it. So I'm going to go ahead and mark the braid, let the customer know that as I tried to do a splice, I may have weakened the braid there. So if it does break in that area, then that'll be because I caused a defect. Not intentionally, but at least he'll know. And, you know, it wouldn't be put on the braid. It'll be because I couldn't splice it. So let me find the marker real quick. And man, I can feel my body getting drained right now. I'm, like I said, not up to 100%, but I am definitely trying to get back after it. And so, where is it? Right there. I can feel it. So let's do this. Alright. He's not answering, but he'll call me back. He's very good about that. So as soon as he does, I will let him know about that. Let me take a picture so that way he knows what he's looking for. All right, got it. Let's go and continue spooling. Alright guys, so we're at 700 yards and we got some twists back onto the spool or the line. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 twists right there. Yeah, color's still going good, man. It ain't too bad. And I do have to admit, the braid for what it is pretty soft, or smooth, should I say. So, keep it going. Alright guys, so we're at 800 yards and yep, still going. Alright, so we're at 900 yards right there. Doing pretty good. We'll keep it rocking. Alright, so we're at 1,000 yards. And that's pretty decent color that it ain't rubbing off like crazy. Like I said, it's still pretty smooth braid. Got a few twists in it. I'm only counting like 3. But, you know, still can't splice it. It's 1,100 yards and we're still rolling. I just gotta show y'all something, guys. And that's the spool that they sent to us. Zoom out a little bit. Yeah. Even what, look at this. That's pretty scary, guys. Because at any given time, this thing could lock up. And I mean, yeah. Definitely need some work, but we'll keep it going. I'm gonna leave it a little zoomed out like that so you can see, just in case it does happen. It's caught on film. I'm gonna keep it going. We're at 1,200 yards now, and yeah, nope, not spliceable. Whoa, you see that? I don't like that. Keep going. All right, 1,300 yards. That nasty area kind of cleaned up a little bit, so we'll keep it rolling. Oh, what's that? Hold on. Something. Yeah, it might be all that twist. Yep. Yeah, it's just a lot of twist in the line, guys. I haven't felt no big, you know, nastiness of frays or anything like that, so. We'll keep on going until we finish it up. It's 1,400 yards of line on the reel of the 150-pound Texas braid, and we'll keep it going. Wow, that's ugly. You see how bright that is and how discolored that end of the braid is. Let's go ahead and add it on. got 15. Hey, that looks like it's spliceable. Hold on. We're at 1,501 yards. Yeah, see the difference in that? That is definitely spliceable right there. Hold on. I can get the needle in. Let me get the needle in. Oh, yeah, see, that's nice. Look at that. And it's all uniform too, right there. See how it all gets nice, big, and fat? Oh, nope. There it goes. See? That's the way it's supposed to be uniform right there. Let me zoom in real quick. Get y'all close up. Alright guys, so I inserted the needle into the end of the braid, and see how nice and fat that portion is? That's the way it's supposed to be. Well, then you can see it get tight, and then it gets fat again. So again guys, you know, with all spooling companies and braiding companies, should I say, their machines, their braid is built by a lot of different machines, so it could have been just as one spool was, you know, messed up, or the one machine. So, you know, maybe he'll be able to send him, you know, or later on we'll get some more braid that'll show. But yeah, this top end looks like it is spliceable. So if I can, I'm gonna go ahead and try to do a loop end splice right there. Just because with the reverse latch, it already caught. I'm gonna back off a little bit so you can show you I'm doing it on there. See how that opens up? That's nice. That's the way it's supposed to be. Yeah, see, I can splice their braid. But the beginning portion, or I guess toward the end, the machine was messing up and they didn't catch on to it. And granted, it's not him, and as he was probably spooling off, he probably didn't catch that either. So, oh, look at that. See, it can be. All right, good deal. So I'm going to do a reverse latch loop, or a loop in splice here. That's it. So he can double up on his braid right there. Can y'all get the phone? Get the phone, Junior, please. Answer it. Hard Lives Bait and Tackle real quick.
Hard Lives Bait and Tackle. Sir? No, sir, we're not. The bait store at the T-Heads is Jane's L-Head, right?
That is correct.
It's Jane's L-Head. You're welcome.
Okay. All right. So yes, I was able to splice it. So at least he's got one splice in there. I definitely wasn't able to do the other end, and I will let him know. That is a little bit of good news, but well, they definitely have to find out whichever machine that was splicing his braids so they can get it fixed and sorted. But yep, so we got 1,500 yards of 150 of the Texas Braid on this Accurate 80, and it looks nice. It really does. Very little coloring on the fingers, which is pretty good, and a little discoloration toward the end. I think that's all right.